Guys, before we get to today's show, I just wanted to make sure you were aware of chessmugs.com. It's a limited edition set of chess mugs featuring hand-drawn portraits of all 16 undisputed world chess champions, dishwasher safe, microwavable, beautiful pictures, famous positions on them. So if this piques your interest, go to chessmugs.com and check it out. And if you use the promo code perpetualchess at checkout, you can save 15%. Alrighty, on to the show. Hello, everyone. I'm Ben Johnson, and this is the Perpetual Chess Podcast. On Perpetual Chess, I have weekly conversations with chess players, personalities, authors, and adult improvers about their lives, their careers, and about chess improvement. Perpetual Chess is brought to you through the generosity of its Patreon and PayPal supporters. For more information, go to perpetualchesspod.com. Hey everyone, welcome back to Perpetual Chess. We have an exciting guest this week. He is one of the most popular chess personalities in the world. He is a Croatian chess player and enthusiast, but of course he is best known for having the most popular YouTube chess channel in the world, Agadmator's chess channel. 535,000 subscribers last time I looked, which was like 10 minutes ago. So it's probably 536,000 now. Just astronomical, mind-boggling growth. Just amazing to see. He's doing so much to promote chess, and I am excited to have him on the show. So, Antonio Radić, how are you, sir?
Well, I'm doing great. I was very much looking forward to the podcast. I've never been an actual guest on a podcast, so it's also very exciting for me. So thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks. I mean, you're obviously find your way online all the time, but yeah, it's nice to try out the different mediums. And as we'll get to eventually in our conversation, I know you've mentioned on Twitter that you're thinking about starting a podcast. So all of that in due time. But I think that we got to start with your YouTube channel. I mean, just incredible success. You actually started. I've been, of course, digging into the history of the channel as best I can since we lined up this interview. And you started your channel about a couple months before I launched Perpetual Chess, this podcast. And somehow you have a teeny bit more subscribers than me. Only about 500,000, only about 530,000 more. So it's just been incredible to see. So I know that you've done a Q&A on your channel in the past, and there was a nice write-up on Chessbase India that Sagar Shah did a while back. So I'll be linking to those, and we'll be trying not to rehash too much that you've talked about before, but I did think it would be helpful, Antonio, if you just took us to the beginning. The first time you pressed, I know you had a video background, but the first time you pressed record to make a chess video.
Yeah, I don't really remember which video I did the first. I do remember the one that really made the channel take off. It was actually a video that I made without checking anything. It was a game Bobby Fischer played against Samuel Reshevsky, and I said he defeated him in 10 moves. Mm-hmm. And since I was doing this game by heart, I thought I knew the game, and I thought I remembered all of the moves. I actually thought Reshevsky resigned after he saw that he was going to lose the queen, but the game actually lasted for some 40-something moves. So and that video really started receiving a lot of views, even though the game never actually happened that way. I mean, it did only when I said that the game ended. The game lasted for some 30-something moves, but that was one of the first videos that I made. But it was one of the first videos that I made with the Blue Yeti microphone that I'm actually using now to talk to you in this podcast. My girlfriend got it to me for my birthday some 3 years ago. But I do have some videos before that where I use like a really cheap microphone, like a $2 microphone, and even no camera. I remember I did a video on Mikhail's game against Alexei Suetin. A pretty how did they call it? Not bad for a dead man.
Yeah, very famous game.
Yeah, and every time I touch a milestone on the channel, like every time for 100,000 subscribers, 200, 300, 500,000, I always invite people to check out that video when I reach 1,000 subscribers, because it's really terrible. I mean, there's no not just because there's no camera. I mean, Jerry from Chess Network, he doesn't use a camera, and his videos are top notch. But it was just bad. I mean, anyone who saw it will confirm that it's bad. But the reason I invite people to check it out is because I started with that, and I'm the biggest chess channel in the world at the moment. So it doesn't matter what you have, like equipment wise, or even how comfortable you are talking in front of the camera or the microphone. If you think you have something to contribute, then you can just start doing it, and people will appreciate that regardless of the equipment.
Yeah,
I mean, of course it helps, but it's not essential.
Yeah, the mantra of every content creator, the first thing is just start. But I'd like to take you back a little more, because I actually did sort your videos from oldest. So here's what I'll tell you I uncovered, Antonio. You're probably a little too in the moment to be on top of this. The very first video I saw posted on your channel was just a live blitz game from what looked to be a Croatian chess club. Just people playing. Basically, it doesn't really count. And then the first video that you seemed to produce was the top 10 or 10 facts about Magnus Carlsen. So, like you say, little list.
Yeah, okay. Those are way before I actually showed games.
Yeah,
I did the top 10 facts for quite some time. And the video you mentioned, that's actually my brother-in-law and my father-in-law playing against each other. Yeah, but you couldn't know that from the video.
Right, yeah. That's very funny. Yeah, and you could see you had some video background because you knew about the listicles. You're doing a top 10 list, so at least some intent to draw an audience. But yeah, you weren't on screen yet. You could tell the difference, that the sound wasn't as good yet. And then slowly, as you say, you made your way to the formula that you currently have. Although you mentioned the Fischer game, which, by the way, for listeners, a lot of people will be familiar with that game. It's an accelerated dragon trap where Fischer plays bishop takes f7, and then the knight can go to e6. Just a beautiful game. I mean, of course, I'll link to it as well. Totally understandable that you thought the game was over once he won the queen. But anyway, so as you move forward, and how did you settle on the formula as we take it forward? Because you say that the channel really took off when you made that Fischer video, but I think you already had tens of thousands of subscribers by that point, so it's all relative. But when did you decide, okay, I'm going to focus on games?
Well, as you create content, you get a lot of feedback. There are a lot of people giving you a lot of positive and a lot of negative feedback. And basically, the way my channel looks now, everything about it, the interface, the length of the video, the content I choose, everything is basically tailored by the viewers. So I do create everything, and I decide where something goes. But every suggestion, every message, every comment, it all factors in the final product. So I wouldn't say that it's what I decided. It's what I thought that the viewers would enjoy most.
That's a really good insight. And how do you weigh the comments of the listeners? Because I mean, I'm, obviously much smaller scale content creator, but I'll get one listener telling me you need to focus more on chess improvement, and another listener telling me I enjoy everything except for the chess improvement. So, how do you the chess improvement talk? How do you approach issues like that?
Well, it's for me, it's more of a I don't know, subjective, so to say. I focus on those comments that strive towards what I'm considering. So if I'm considering maybe I should make the board brighter and maybe make the quote above the board smaller, if I don't know, if people go in that direction, then I will think that that's what I should do. But if someone, I don't know, a good example is a lot of people suggested that maybe I should show a game from Black's perspective. Like maybe I should flip the board. If there's a really good game played by the Black pieces, maybe the Black pieces should be on the bottom of the screen and the White pieces on top. And although a lot of people suggested it, I never even considered it because that's just not how I enjoy viewing a chess diagram in a book, on a display, anywhere. I enjoy it. White is on the bottom, Black is on top, and that's how I that's how I imagine the board when I close my eyes. That's how I want to present games. So it's one of the examples where it doesn't really matter how many times it was suggested. I just don't like it. But someone once said that maybe I should put photos of the players next to the board, and I have considered that a few times. And then someone suggested, and I said, okay, I will implement that, and that's why there are photos of players next to the board on every game that I show.
Yeah, and that's definitely a good addition. It seems like you've got things down pretty much to a science at this point. But yeah, I also wanted to mention, I saw in one of your very first game videos, I believe it was a game between Shankland and Ivanchuk, you had music going in the background.
Yeah.
And I read the comments, and there are a lot of people saying, chill with the music, Antonio.
Yeah, there was really in the beginning. I saw that a lot of people who were streaming, had some music in the background. It was I didn't use commercial music. I use non-copyright music. I think it was NCS or something like that. But people really didn't appreciate that when it comes to a chess game. Maybe okay if you I don't know, Eric Hansen, he will listen to some techno when he plays Blitz, but that's different. He just plays. He doesn't really talk about it. He just plays in his streams. So the music can be viewed as a bonus. But when you have a story to tell, when you want to express something, then I don't think the music is all that helpful. Which I immediately abandoned after a lot of people pointed it out.
Yeah, probably too many, but it was good feedback. So
yeah.
And Antonio, I gather that you have like either an interest or a background in video games. What's the story with that?
Well, it's not only a background. I enjoy video games since forever. I mean, I still vividly remember when I was 5 years old and I got my first copy of the Legend of Zelda.
Nice.
That was a special moment, and I really enjoyed that game. Even though it was in German and I really couldn't speak any German, I was actually playing that game with a German-Croatian German dictionary. So, or maybe it was even an English-German dictionary. So I had to translate everything. It really took me a lot to go through it, but I did enjoy it. And I'm a really big fan of old school classics like role-playing games. Pretty much any console role-playing game is a must for me. And I did enjoy an occasional, modern games like League of Legends, Hearthstone, or something like that.
Gotcha. And for making your videos, are you drawing from like the YouTube sphere in video games or any other subjects? Was there anything that you used? Because even though you've changed your format a lot, it seemed like you had some ideas about how a video should be presented right from the beginning.
Really? I really didn't get that.
Well, you kept it short and you had the listicles right off the bat.
Yeah, one of the things I always do in my videos is something that I enjoy in the videos of others, and I don't do things that I don't enjoy in the videos of others. For example, I never do sponsored content. I've never done any sponsored content, not because I hate it that much when other people do it. It's just that people come for the content. If you shove sponsored content in their face before the actual content, it just seems wrong. This is what I don't enjoy, so I don't do it in my videos. Although if someone had something really cool or useful or interesting, regardless of it being a sponsored content, maybe I would consider doing it. But let's say at the end of the video. So
you're not talking about the YouTube generated like Kasparov masterclass ads and stuff like that. You're talking about like something that's actually in your video.
Yeah, something that's in my video, not the ads, like the video ad before my video actually starts.
Right. Okay.
That's a standard that everyone is used to that. But if I have a 10-minute video on a Bobby Fischer game and I talk about antiviruses for the first minute and a half, that's a no-go for me.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, as you make your way, you mentioned that you felt like your channel was really taking off when you made the Bobby Fischer beats a GM in 10 moves video. You mentioned in your interview with Sagar Shah that you quit your job a little bit more than 2 years ago. But one thing, I was curious when you had the first thought that this might be viable as a profession, because obviously from the germination of the thought to actually doing it would take some time.
Well, that was actually a long time ago. Maybe even in 2015, I already had some ideas because I remember when I paid for my first beer with YouTube money. I said, okay, if this is possible, if one beer is possible, with YouTube money, then it's only a matter of
scale,
of time.
Yeah.
Yes. No, of time.
Yeah.
Since it will either work or not. I mean, it's not that I was just doing that. I had other jobs. I had a second job over the weekend. I did a lot of things. So I really did YouTube in my spare time. But yeah, people really enjoyed it. They were really contributing. They were supporting me, and it became possible to quit my job at around, I believe, 20,000 subscribers.
And were you nervous at the time? Did it feel risky?
Well, no, because at the time that I quit my job, I was making around the same that I did on my actual job. So I didn't feel at all worried about it. And even if it didn't work out, maybe in a year or so, I could always do the same job somewhere else, I guess.
Okay, and your background's in graphic design, is that right?
Well, not so much. I did go to college for graphics design, but I never finished it. But I did work for 10 years with my father. He has a wedding photography studio. So he was shooting weddings, and I was recording and editing them for. Yeah, I did that for about 10 years. So I do know my way around video. And I do enjoy chess, obviously, not since forever, as people might think, but since I was like maybe 16. But yeah, when you put those two together, that's pretty much it. How it all came to be. And
obviously, you know tons of chess history. It's obvious from watching your channel. As I was telling you right before we recorded, listeners, the next book I'm going to recap is Bobby Fischer Goes to War. So I've also been watching your recaps of the games, and the amount of time you put into the preparation is quite evident as you go through the games. But how much of your chess knowledge came before you even started the channel, as compared to like prepping for a specific video when you're doing the stuff that requires heavier preparation?
Oh, I would say about 90% came before.
That's impressive.
Yeah, because it's not like I inherited, but my grandfather, he was a FIDE master. He really had a lot of books, really old books, and I really enjoyed going through all of them. And that's what I mostly tell people when they ask me why I started the channel. I had a lot of chess knowledge, and I had no one to share it with. So I would often bore my friends, hey man, there was this guy, Mikhail, and he was really awesome. And, I would talk about him, and they would listen, but mostly because they were my friends, and not so much because they were interested in it.
Yeah. I mean, Tal is a particularly fun subject.
Yeah.
So then you start the channel and you optimize the sort of formula. And do you feel like you're still tweaking what you're doing, or do you feel like now you sort of know what people want?
Well, at the moment, I do try to tweak little things, like maybe content-wise, to really try and do. I would never do something that I don't want to do. Like if someone wanted me to do a Karpov versus Kasparov saga, that would I would enjoy that, but that would take me like maybe 3 years,
right?
Of everyday work. So I'm not interested in doing that right now. But little things like I do before I start my next big saga, I create a poll on my channel. People vote, and now we had a vote. Either we were going to have a Anatoly Karpov saga, Judith Polgar saga, or Paul Morphy saga. Those were the three that got the most votes. So it was almost Judith Polgar, but in the end it was between Karpov and Morphy in the end won. So the next big saga will be the Paul Morphy saga. But even though there were 5 choices, I would enjoy doing all of those. So it doesn't really matter which one the viewers choose, because I'm going to enjoy all of them, and I do wish to learn a lot more about all of them, of course. And I try to do some tweaking on the sound, but I don't invest all that much in equipment. I still use my old PC that I used when I started the channel. Still use the same camera. It's nothing special. The microphone is the same, the one that my girlfriend got me, the Blue Yeti, one I would recommend to everyone doing YouTube. So yeah, but like I mentioned, I do try to improve a little in regards that I am interested in starting a podcast. I already have everything set up, and I will try to bring some people from the chess world to further benefit the videos that I make.
Oh, that'll be awesome. So what do you have in mind? So is it going to be like video interviews or audio only? And is it going to be done in your studio? What are you cooking up, Antonio?
Well, I'm not interested in doing it online. I'm not gonna have it like it's gonna be every week. Like since I live in Croatia, if someone is passing by, or if someone is interested in meeting me in Croatia, even for the sole purpose of being on my podcast, then I would welcome them. Give them a place to stay, or give them food, offer them something to drink. So, but also enjoy a nice conversation. So either if it's someone who wants to promote a book, or maybe a chess historian that would, increase our vast knowledge of maybe Jose Raul Capablanca, or maybe someone in FIDE, some officials maybe, or maybe even some of the top grandmasters. It's hard to say. I still haven't decided, but first I'm going to prepare everything, and then I'm going to do an open invitation.
Okay.
Even if you're in Croatia anytime, you're welcome to drop by on a podcast and a beer.
Wow, that sounds good, especially the beer part.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I know you've talked in the past. I mean, your Twitter profile says you love beer. You've talked about it in your videos. You got asked about it in your Q&A, etc. So I'm with you in spirit. I've got 2 little ones, so I don't get to go out for beers as much as I used to. But yeah, always a good time. Chess and beer go well together.
Yes, they do.
As do chess and wine, for that matter. So yeah, that sounds exciting. So keep us posted. And will it be released on like audio only formats as well, or will it just be on your channel?
No, I'm actually considering a different channel for that, so I don't mix it with the content I'm creating on this channel, but I will promote it on my original channel. So, people who are interested can enjoy also that. But if someone isn't interested in that, if someone is only interested in the games, I'm not going to bother them with notifications about podcasts.
Okay.
But I do plan to release it on both audio and video streams.
Okay. And I have a few more questions about your channel, but that makes me think of course, that you went to the World Championship in London.
Okay.
So is that the sort of thing where you would bring a recorder and try to grab some people, or would you just keep that as like a fan networking sort of trip?
Well, when I went to London, I didn't really go there to work. I went to meet up with a friend to meet some fans who were interested in dropping by to enjoy the venue. I actually didn't take any photos there or even do any recordings. I did record the two games, the first and second game they played of the World Chess Championship match, but that's pretty much it. So I didn't go there to work. Would I try to get some interviews there? Perhaps, but I don't think so. At least not for now. For now, I would prefer if they came to my so-called studio.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Europe is compact enough that even though Croatia, of course, it has some strong players like Ivanchuk, and I'm sure I said his name wrong, and a lot of strong players historically from that area. So hopefully it'll be interesting to see. I would look forward to seeing who pops into the worldwide Agadmator headquarters.
Yeah, me too. So far, I don't know if anyone will be interested, but okay, if not, I don't lose anything. I'm just it's With the way I see it, my channel gets over 10 million views a month. So
Yeah.
if anyone wishes to, use that community to do some good, to share something, then you are welcome to do that.
Yeah, I was going to say, with 535,000 subscribers, I think there'll be some interest, it's safe to say. So have you thought, Antonio, yet? So the next World Championship in November, the two finalists, venues, FIDE is saying, or destinations for the match are either Argentina or United Arab Emirates. Have you given thought to if you're going to make another trip?
Oh, I definitely will. I still don't know where I would prefer it to be. But then again, it's I don't think it really matters, as I'm not going to go there for more than a few days, and mostly I'm going to be at the chess venue. So I think whichever is will be fine.
Yeah. I don't know that much about United Arab Emirates, to be honest. I definitely love Argentina. Okay, we got a couple questions from supporters of the show. Antonio, you ready?
Okay, shoot.
Okay, the first one is from Michael Kahn. He says, and he's got a few, but we'll take them one by one. So for listeners who don't know, the way it works is people who support the channel via Patreon or PayPal find out the guests in advance and can submit questions. So Michael asked, he said, first the obvious question, how did you learn English so well? Do you speak other languages besides English and Croatian?
I do not speak other languages. I do speak some German. If I really wanted something, then I would be able to make people from Germany understand me. And but I never really tried to learn it. It's just it was mandatory in school. But that's pretty much it. I do. Yeah, no, other than that, not really. Just a little bit of German and English mostly via video games and Cartoon Network, basically.
Wow, so not formal study as much?
No, not at all. I actually don't think I learned anything in school regarding English. Maybe a few words I didn't know, but mostly from video games. As there's so much reading. The video games I play are mostly role-playing games where you basically just read all the time. So
that's funny. That's probably good for your chess vast knowledge as well.
The reading.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it developed the habit.
Yeah. Most definitely.
And speaking of the vast knowledge, you've got a few running jokes in the show. Excellent subscriber, vast knowledge. How did you hit upon those?
I don't think I did. Like sometimes I can't remember what to say, and then I say it, and then it just turns out okay. So it wasn't some sort of an elaborate plan. It was just a spur of the moment. And I don't think it's actually good. I just think that people started repeating it so much, maybe even to some extent, to make fun of me or to joke about it. But in the end, it picked up.
Nice. Yeah. Well, it's good that sounds like you have a lighthearted attitude about it. You get so much feedback that even if most of it's going to be positive, some of it's going to be negative. And for some people that can sort of be a drag, even if it's more positive, just you remember the negative things more, but it sounds like you have a good attitude about the whole thing.
Yeah, but I would say that's mandatory if you're doing YouTube. I know some of my friends, they say, oh wow, look at this comment, it's really ugly, what are you going to reply? I'm like, nothing. I mean,
yeah.
I have too much to do as it is, but so some people focus only on the negative comments, and they would waste too much time on it, but it's simply not possible.
Yeah, it's a good attitude, and I think good advice for anyone listening. Okay, so we're going to come back to some questions from Michael Kahn, but right now I want to stick to the channel before we get to a little proper chess talk. So another question, and Michael, by the way, says your YouTube channel has a soothing effect. Keep up the good work.
Okay.
Now,
thank you, Michael.
Now, moving on to a question from Jordan Goodwin. He asks, what do you think has made your channel arguably the most popular chess commentator? Not arguably. What has made it the most popular chess commentary YouTube channel compared to other channels that do similar analysis?
Well, I actually think it's the community that the people enjoy. I mean, that's a weird thing to say because in the beginning there was no community, but I think that people appreciate that it's even if I didn't really do anything in the video, I think people still enjoy the positive of the chess that I bring. So it's sort of a chess social network where people just feel good. You check out on a video, you enjoy the comments. The comments are they are never about politics. They are never insulting. I mean, there are every community has its fair share of trolls, but here on my channel, and I'm very happy that it's like that. The people are just amazing. So I really think that people come every day to dig into that big pile of greatness, so to say, and feel good, and they feel good by reading the comments, by contributing, by I even get a lot of messages that where people tell me that they play my videos before they go to sleep, that my voice helps them sleep. I don't know. I received a lot of videos that said that I'm a very positive person and that it helps them cure their depression. And you would be amazed to hear how many people, well, I know a lot of people are depressed, but how many people sent me this? It's, I don't know. So
that's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, it is. So I don't think people actually care that much about me explaining the chess games. There are so many more competent people that do that online who are far stronger than me in actual skill. So I do believe that it's the positive effect that I bring.
Yeah, I can relate to what you say about there being more competent people, stronger people. Because before I started this podcast, I sort of, I'm like 2150 USCF. I felt the same way, but at the same time, I felt like I had something to offer, but it was a little bit daunting doing it. Did you have inhibitions about it at the beginning, based on the fact, I mean, obviously we're both like above average chess players, but there's so many grandmasters and stuff creating content. Was that daunting at all?
No, not at all. Because one thing that if you go to Lead Chess, I mean, even if you're like 2000 rating or maybe 2100, you will still be better than 95% of players. So even though, of course, you can watch, I don't know, Daniel King, you can watch Peter Svidler, you can watch anyone online who can really explain things incredibly well. However, for your general viewer who is maybe 1600, maybe 1200, maybe 18, and maybe I don't know, 800, maybe who knows. That's I don't think that he's able to make a difference between those explanations and the ones I make. Not in terms of quality, of course. I don't know. One Peter Svidler will make a far better explanation of anything regarding chess. But to the general viewer, he wants to enjoy a nice story. He wants to enjoy a nice short game, and he wants to, I don't know, share it with his friends. So it should be a positive experience, not maybe not a 25-minute video of why knight a5 is good in Grunfeld and maybe not in other openings. Even though there are people who need that, and there is a very specific audience for that, but it's just that the general public is much larger than what a grandmaster would talk about, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, clearly the popularity of your channel has proven that. It's impressive to me. I personally wouldn't have guessed it going in. I like when you started 3 years ago. I think the biggest YouTube channels were like Jerry, Chess Network, and John Bartholomew was still making a lot of videos. Was there anyone else you remember looking at and considering the work of as you got started?
Well, when I the first YouTube chess that I remember when I started using YouTube for, enjoying some chess videos are Mato Jelic and King's Crusher.
Right.
So
yeah.
Two Classics. Of them are the first that I remember. Then I found Jerry from Chess Network. He was by far the biggest. And I think that there was the chess website. I think they were also quite big. And that's pretty much it. When I started, those were the bigger ones. Okay, John Bartholomew, but he was around, I think he was around 30,000 subscribers when I started. And maybe, yeah, that's about it, what I remember.
Okay.
When I started out.
Okay. And you didn't necessarily know going in, I'm going to, create something huge and something different. You just wanted to get in the game and see what happened.
Yeah, now that you ask me that, I it's not like I had an agenda. I had some knowledge that I wanted to share, and if there were people maybe interested in watching that or hearing about it, then that would make me happy. And it did.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, you mentioned, I mean, it took off very quickly. And you mentioned the community being the strong suit. So I know that obviously the comments are where a lot of interaction takes place, but I'm not like a huge YouTube person. So what happens, like, I know there's like the community tab and stuff, like how much of the I know you've run tournaments on Chess. So what goes on besides just responding to the comments? How else do you build a community?
Well, if I, for example, the YouTube tab community, that stuff doesn't really, that's pretty much useless. I mean, in a whole year, I will maybe use that 10 times maximum, like maybe to do a few polls and to make like a large announcement. But since I do videos every day, I make most of the announcements in the videos. Sometimes if I forget to make one, I will then use the community tab. But it's possible to create not to create, but to better the community or to provide better content by organizing tournaments by, for example, let me just think, like Eugenio Torre, the Grandmaster from Filipino, made a song about Bobby Fischer, and it was brought to my attention by a subscriber, and I really enjoyed it. It was really touching. It was it was like a rework or a remake of the Starry Night by Don McLean, and it was about Bobby Fischer. It was a beautiful song, and I heard it, and I invited everyone to listen to it, and I thought if it made me feel that good, then maybe it will do that for other people as well. And a lot of people enjoyed it. And it's something, I don't know, a lot of people tell me that some, content creators don't usually invite people to check out other people's content, but I actually do that quite often. And I think people really, really respect that.
Yeah, I saw that with, you're a big fan of Rashid Najmudinov, and I know that you recommended like a 3-part series about his life.
By Jessica Fischer.
Yeah. That's definitely noble of you. So you're responding in the comments, and of course you're active on social media. You've got a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and all that. So are those your main methods of building the community?
Well, the main YouTube is definitely the main method. As on Facebook nowadays is pretty bad. If you're not sponsoring your content, no one will see it. Like even if you have like 100,000 followers on Facebook, if you don't pay for a sponsored publication, like maybe I don't know 100 people will see it. So it's not that useful. Twitter is okay, although I mostly use Twitter for nonsense and retweeting other useful stuff that people do. But mostly it's YouTube. I tried some other things like I don't even remember what they're called. There's this tool gamers use to talk. So I did try to create part of the community there, or maybe to try and share notifications when I upload my videos so people receive it faster. But it just takes too much time. So taking care of YouTube and Twitter is any time more than that I don't have.
Okay, cool. All right, well, let's move on to actual chess. Antonio, you ready?
Okay, let's go.
Speaking of talking chess, we're going to take a quick break to tell you about the latest from Chessable. You probably already know about their Move Trainer technology that enables you to remember opening lines more effectively by testing you on what you learn repeatedly until you have it down cold. Well, now there's a new opening course by GM Alex Kolovich, who's been on the show. It's called Breakdown Anti-Sicilians, and it helps you against all these pesky anti-Sicilian lines. So whether you're a Najdorf player or you're breathing fire with the dragon, you got to know what to do against the Alapin, the Close Sicilian, the Mora Gambit, the Grand Prix, the Moscow, all that stuff. And with this course from Chessable.com, you will know what to do. So go to the website and check it out. All right, back to the interview. So, candidates coming up. How are you able to maintain your chess fandom? Like, would you be rooting for someone in the candidates, or is it too much business at this point for you to actually take an active rooting interest?
Well, I don't think I ever had, like, especially in modern chess, I don't think I was ever rooting for anyone. When Vasily Ivanchuk is playing, I'm always rooting for him. I don't care who's playing in the tournament. I always root for him. But in the candidates tournament, especially this one, I don't know. Ding is one of the people that I would like to challenge Magnus. Fabio already had his chance, although I do think he will be an incredibly strong contender this time as well. No, I don't think I have any favorites.
And why do you love Chucky so much, Ivanchuk?
I don't know. He's just such an incredible personality. It's he's just you can look at him all day. It doesn't matter what he does. He's just checking out a fly, running, flying around the room, or
right,
or who knows what's going on in his head.
Playing checkers during chess award ceremonies and so on and so forth. Yeah, he would be a good one. I want him to pop into your studio, drink some beers with you, and record a podcast interview.
Yeah, he's actually in Croatia quite a lot, so that's not impossible.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Yes, it would.
All right. So you mentioned, of course, you're well steeped in chess history, read many, many books, and I know you get asked this all the time, but just for listeners who haven't seen you talk about it elsewhere, what are a few of your favorite chess books?
The favorite chess book. Well, definitely one of my favorites, and also I really love the author. It's Dmitry Bielitsa is the author, and he has this My Friend Bobby Fischer. It's really, really awesome book. And there's also this book, Boris Spassky on the Move. So if you go through that book and through this book, it's like you have two movies, but they're actually about to collide. So it's really, really incredible stuff. To really pinpoint one, I don't think if I would be able to do that. Okay. Chess Fundamentals by Capablanca, although that's it does have some history in it, but mostly it's about chess improvement. For example, I don't know. Let me check. Nothing pops to mind right now.
Okay, I mean that's three good recommendations that we don't get all the time.
I don't know if you meant regarding like biographies or history or chess improvement.
It's open-ended question.
Okay.
I think
so. One of the books I really enjoy and I recommend to everyone is Strategy and Tactics by Grigory Lisitsyn. And I actually have a few sets of those books, the trilogy, and I often give it as a gift to people when someone pops up one of the books I really enjoyed.
Okay, good stuff. And how many?
Sorry, I have to interrupt you. You keep saying that I know a lot about chess and a lot about chess history. That's only that's how to say it. Compared to a chess historian, I know next to nothing. But compared to the general viewer, I do know a lot.
Yeah, I feel the same way. But you're very modest. It's good that that's kind of you to say about yourself.
Yeah, okay, it is the truth.
Yeah, no, I hear you. But I mean, some people wouldn't call attention to that. True or not. So how many hours a week are you reading? Do you read, Antonio?
Yes, I do, but at the moment, not all that much chess content. I'm currently reading some other stuff, but I am preparing the Morphy saga now, so I do have two books on Morphy to get it going.
And what about just all in all, not just counting chess stuff? Like, how often do you read generally?
Well, there's like a few months can go by without me reading anything, but on a good month, I may read like 3 books. So it really depends.
Okay. And now that your channel is like kind of crushing it, growing rapidly, you're still putting out a lot of content, but do you find that you have more time as you learn to sort of optimize things and get them down to a science, or is the channel still keeping you extremely busy?
It's like a 24-hour job. Only the thing I really enjoy is that I don't consider it to be a job.
Yeah,
it's more of a hobby that pays well. But yeah, I mean, when I go for coffee in the morning, I check the comments. I check on Twitter. I check, like today. I didn't know. I didn't prepare any games since I was playing in a tournament over the past 3 days, and I don't know. I saw chess historian Olympia Urkan posted on Twitter a very nice game by Iranian Grandmaster Parham Maksudlu, and I really enjoyed the game, and that's the game I covered today.
Right.
But is browsing Twitter actually a job for me? No, it isn't. I do enjoy that.
Yeah. It was a nice game, by the way. So I'll be sure to is your video up yet? I mean, it'll be up.
Yeah, I uploaded it some 4 hours ago, I believe.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we will link to the video. And how did the tournament go?
It went much better than I expected, since even though I cover a lot of games, I don't have all that much playing experience. I very rarely play. And it wasn't too strong of a tournament. There were like maybe 4 or 5 FIDE masters in the tournament, and I did 5.5 out of 9, which was a lot better than I expected, since I think 6 opponents were higher rated than me, and yeah, it was pretty good. And I also have to cover one of the games that I played on the channel, so. I was very, very impressed with how I was able to not blunder anything. Yeah. I did blunder the game against the person who won the tournament, but it was in an equal ending position, so to say. I totally misread the position and lost. But it's not that I'm saying I lost because of that one move. He's a much better player, and he just kept pressuring, and of course, at some moment I lost, a count of what was happening, and well, all in all, I'm very happy with how I played.
Good. And anything you've mentioned in the past that you don't have a ton of time to spend on your chess. Your content creation keeps you pretty busy. So it's good that you got out there. Do you have any plans of doing so again? Any other tournaments lined up?
Well, not really, and pretty much the only reason why I played this one is because it's like 5 minutes of walking distance from
that's
where
awesome.
I live. Yeah, it is.
That's pretty cool. Cool. Well,
sort of like a county championship.
Okay. And did it lead to something if you won, or just a trophy or something?
Well, yeah, I think if you win, you get sponsorship for national championship. It's an open championship, so anyone can enter. But I think the first five prizes receive money. So it's sort of a sponsorship for further championship.
Okay. And what was it a fast game, slow game? Like, what was the time control?
45 minutes plus 15 seconds increment. So it is a classical game, but you really don't have a lot of time.
Okay. I think that's reasonable. I think like game 60 minutes to me is ideal. I mean, I could use more time, but just in terms of mixing practicality and a little bit of time to think, 60 minutes with some sort of increment is what I prefer. And the reason I brought up time controls is circling back to Michael Can. He has a question relating to time controls. So he says, I was wondering about the difference in the quality of play at different time controls. If you were given 2 games played by the same 2 grandmasters, would you be able to guess, not being told which one was classical and which was rapid, would you be able to guess which was which?
No, definitely not, because Well, the game I showed today, that Maksudlu won in the Sicilian, even though it's a 3-minute game, they know so much theory that, for the first 20 moves you couldn't know if it's a World Chess Championship game or World Chess Championship may be a bad example since you will not see those kind of lines in a World Chess Championship game. But no, there's no way. There was a game I covered on my channel. It was a bullet game on leeches that Magnus played against the Penguin, against Andrew Tang. And up until, I don't know, they blasted out 20 moves of strong theory. And I mean, it's impossible to know whether it would be a bullet game or a classical game. Later on, if there were blunders, of course, it's possible. But for some, if it's hour and a half or half an hour, I don't think it will be possible. Of course, for a strong Grandmaster, he would definitely be able to tell the difference, but no, I don't think I would be able to do it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I was going to say someone like Peter Svidler, of course, could tell, but us mortals might have a harder time. So I just wanted to ask you a couple more questions, Antonio, if you're okay with it.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. So we got to talk about Medo, your celebrity dog. Has all his success gone to his head?
No, he's still just sleeping on the floor here next to me.
Glad to hear it. Is he getting like higher quality dog bones now?
Oh yeah, only the best.
Excellent, well deserved. I mean, I think he's a part of your success, honestly.
Well, definitely. I mean, people love dogs. I mean, people love animals, especially dogs. And when they see a happy dog in the video, it just broadens all the happiness they got through chess. So it's a huge bonus.
Yeah, and you mentioned in your Q&A that he's actually kind of camera shy.
Yeah, he can't stand, like, even if I want to take a photo of him with my smartphone, he acts like I'm gonna kill him. He just puts his head to the side, and I have no idea why. It's like I swear sometimes he can actually tell if I'm pointing my smartphone at him when he's sleeping. Sometimes he's snoring, and I want to record a 5-second video of him snoring, and then he stops snoring. That's and it happens every time.
That's very funny, but when the video is rolling, he doesn't mind chilling on the couch.
Yeah, I don't think I think he thinks I'm talking to him. I mean, there's no one else here, so he can't grasp, of course, that I'm making a video. So he just thinks I'm talking to him a lot.
Okay.
I mean, I am talking to him a lot as it is, but I guess it just makes him even happier.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty good life. He sits back, learns a lot of chess.
Yeah.
What kind of dog is he?
Well, he's I don't know what's a word for that. I think it's
mutt.
Crossbreed. Yeah, a mutt. Yeah. But between what, I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah.
I often joke to my friends that he's a combination of a Great Dane and maybe something smaller.
Yeah. Well, it's a cool looking dog.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay. So Antonio, just in closing, I wonder, I mean, you've hinted at the stuff a little bit. You've got the podcast coming. You've got the Nezhmadinov 1 million viewer, 1 million subscriber goal. What else do you have planned, and how often do you plan for your channel as opposed to just sort of keeping up with the workflow of putting out new videos?
Well, I don't plan all that much, although I do have, hopefully in some 2 months' time, we're currently working on a chess manga, sort of a comic book about chess. Should be I don't know if it will be the first one in the world, as I saw Garry Kasparov was a part of either an anime or a chess manga. And he tweeted about it that it should be released some last year in September, although it wasn't. So I don't know what's happening with that. But we are planning on releasing it somewhere during March. So okay. Hopefully people will enjoy that as well.
Okay. So chess manga, continuing to build the channel, podcast, world championship. Anything else in cooking, or is that about it?
Well, no, that's about it. I do have some long-term plans where I want to really better the community, start really helping everyone. But I need to get even bigger to do that. I would say.
Well, it's amazing to see. I mean, if you had told me, I mean, forget like who it is, but just that anyone would get to 535,000 subscribers so quickly. I mean, it's great all that you're doing to help promote chess. It's incredible.
Yeah, I didn't think it was possible, especially since it's chess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember. I remember when I was watching a channel. It was about about anime mostly. I think Master Media has it, and he made a video how he got 200,000 subscribers in a year. And I thought, well, okay, that's really incredible, but that's Dragon Ball and stuff. Everyone loves that. And then I realized that in 1 year I also got around 200,000 subscribers, and it's chess. So it's I didn't think that was possible, and that so many people were interested in chess.
Yeah, it's great to see, and you're doing so much that's positive. We did mention the sort of trolly YouTube comments that anyone with a channel of your stature is going to see. Have you experienced any sort of jealousy from the actual chess community?
Well, if you ever visit Reddit, then you will see that people on Reddit don't really like me. They just they mostly say I'm like I don't know what they call it, that I'm an engine with a voice.
Uh-huh.
So that I just say the moves that were played, and that's it. End of story. Okay, I mean, if that was the case, then definitely everyone could do what I do. But I do believe I bring something more to the table.
Okay. Does it bother you when you read stuff like that, or you're just used to it at this point?
No, not really. It never bothered me. It's just people say that, for example, why would someone watch my content if they can watch, for example, Peter Svidler analyzing the same game? I have no idea. I mean, okay, one, videos are shorter. Two, that's all I have. That's all I have. I have no idea. But for some reason, people prefer this format.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I do think a lot of it comes from jealousy. I mean, I have to admit, like, just without doing any work, there's an impulse to be jealous just because you're one of the biggest chess stars in the world, like all within 3 years. So I think that's where it comes from. And it really doesn't have much to do with you. I mean, clearly you're, a modest guy that appreciates what you've built. And of course you've worked incredibly hard.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. But I don't know if I would call it jealousy. It's more of people like to share their opinions online.
That's for sure. Yeah, no disputing that. But
yeah.
Luckily, most of the people, I mean, your whatever they call it, the thumbs up compared to thumbs down is always quite positive. The comments are generally quite positive. So I'm glad that you're able to let it roll off your back and continue to bring so many people into the wonderful world of chess.
Yeah, I mean, I one of the greatest things I enjoy about my channel is so many people write to me and they just tell me they gave up on chess like 30 years ago.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I received some even 50 years ago. As a 70-year-old gentleman sent me that he stumbled upon my video. He played chess as a teenager, and now he started realizing at the age of 70 what a beautiful game that is. And I received so many of those, and that's just it's just amazing.
Yeah, and I teach a lot of school programs, so I teach a lot of kids, and when I meet their parents, a lot of the parents might be starting to get their feet wet, getting a little interested in chess, and they'll tell me they're watching some videos, and I always try to find out who they're watching, and invariably the response is like, oh, I don't know the guy's name, he has kind of like an Eastern European accent, they start to describe you, and I'm like, yep, I know who they're watching.
Okay, most chess channels have a Eastern European accent.
Okay, but I dig a little further. I'm like, do they have a dog?
Yeah.
And Medo always gives it away. Okay, so Antonio, I'm guessing most people listening know where to find you. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Is there anything else I should link to in the show description?
Well, not really. Hopefully, when this is published, I will be able to invite everyone to enjoy it. But no, that's it. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram mostly, and that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Well, keep up the great work promoting chess, and congratulations on all of your success, Antonio.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on the show. And I hope you also reach out to the broadest community possible.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, man.
Thanks, as always, to my producer, Matthew Passy, for making Perpetual Chess happen. I also want to thank all you guys and girls who helped me grow Perpetual Chess. That includes everyone who tells a friend about the show, everyone who writes a positive review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, whatever other podcast platform you may be on. All of it is appreciated and all of it keeps me going. But of course, most of all, I want to thank the people who provide financial support to the show. I would like to give extra special thanks to the following people and entities. They are Chessable Quality Chess Books, the Capital City Chess Club, the Apprend Chess Twitch channel, Andrew Bach, Austin Clough, Benjamin Porto, Kathy Carr, Chad Oliver, Dano Hanlon, Danny Davidson, David Schreiber, I am Dimitri Schneider, Faraz Sawaf, Gary Foreman, Greg Nattel, Greg Shahadi, Guven Manet, Jens Green, John Jernigan, John Cromarty, John McCarthy, Kelly Palmer, Kevin O'Callahan, Lone Pine Chess, Lorraine Dore, Lucio Casada Silva, the law offices of Stuart Katz, Michael Kahn, FM Michael Oplin, Mike Zelazny, Moonmaster 9000, Peter Sodi, Reuven Fischer, Seattle Chess Club, Thomas Stanix, Thomas Tachenko, Todd Bryant of Strong Chess, and Todd Kennedy. And I would also like to thank the following people and entities. They are Aaron Waffler, Ace Vallega, Adam Ralph of ChessEngland.com, Adrian Gutierrez, Alex Pejas, FM Andrei Terakov, Andrew Perry, Better Chess Training, Bill Juniper, Bill Moran, Brad and Andy Rosen, Brett Howard Lynn, Brian Mullish, Chad Hilton, Dr. Charles Snodgrass, Chris Flanagan, Chris Wainscott, Christopher Baumgartner, Christopher Chabris, Chris Lott, Christopher Wood. I am Christoph Zalecki, aka Chess Explained, Coach J's Chess Academy, Courtney Fry, Daniel Gell, Daniel Ginsberg, Daniel Lucas of U.S. Chess Federation, Daniel Naylor, Dave Saylor, David Cramley, CEO of Chessable.com, Dalen Shelton, Dwayne Edmonds, Ethan Smith, I am Elect Donnie Ariel, the Fox Valley Chess Club of Aurora, Illinois, Dr. Frank Tortoris, Gary Andrews, Gary Lewis, Geert Vandervelt, Gerard Barta, Giovanni Russo, Hans Schut, Harish Srinivasan, James Aspinwall, James Benastia, James Moore, Jason Anfang, Jason Woolham, J. Deep Chakrabarty, Jeff Anderson, Jeffrey Martello, Jerry Wells, J.J. Stranad, John Fernandez, John Fontaine, John Hartman, John Jeffrey, John McMurtry, Jordan Goodwin, Jose Rodriguez, Justin Gardner, Jen Shahadi, Joel Rocky, John Thompson, GM Josh Friedel, I am Kare Christensen, WGM Katerina Nemtsova, Kelly Palmer, I am Kostya Kovutsky, Krishna Kapala Krishnan, Larry Ryforth, Laura Belyavsky, Martin Knudsen, Matthew Passy, Matthew Tedesco of SeattleChessMeetup.org, the Mechanics Institute Chess Club of San Francisco, Michael Allard, Miguel Arospidi, Mike Clem, Mr. Mike Shahadi, Nate Salon, Neil Bruce, Olaf Mueller-Michaels, GM Pascal Charbonneau, Passy Passanen, Paul Bain, Paul Clarkson, Paul Sweeney, Paulo Santana, Peter Lux, Peter Merrifield, Randy Temple, Ricky Grahalver, Roy Yearwood, Ryan Berg, the Say Chess YouTube channel, Scott Doherty, Scott McKinnon, Sebastian Finsterwalder, WGM, Tatya Vabrahamian, Tim Brennan of TacticsTime.com, Tim Seymour, Timothy Ha, Tom Edsel, Tomas Komarnich, Tony Rotella, Tyrin Price, Victor Vrankulj, Wayne Beam, William Brock, William Juniper, William Peterson, FM Zhao Cheng of Chess1000.com, Zhivko Storyanov, and that is everyone. Thanks, everyone. Catch you guys next week.